So to finish out fixing all the videos that didn't have sound, as you can see, I made them in advance. Okay, I'm fixing this on January 26th. So depending on the date of this lesson, you can see how far in advance I made them. So sorry about that, y'all, but fixing them, you should be able to hear me. Let's get to work. So yesterday we did square root function graph attributes. So today we're going to do cube root function attributes. As you can see, the parent function y equals the cube root of x. It's not as simple as just typing in square root of x. It's a cube root. So there's a different place to find it on the calculator when you're graphing. But the first thing I want us to notice is these arrows here going up, going to the left, going to the right. That means, what is the domain? Y'all are smart and know this. The domain is all real numbers. It's going to be that every single time. Okay? The range, look, it's getting bigger and bigger and longer, and it's going to keep going down. So what do you think the range is? It is all real numbers as well. Okay? So we have half of our answers done, and again, we don't even have to graph it. So let's look at number one. We do have to graph it for x and y intercept, just like I told you yesterday. So, number one, y equals the cube root of x minus 1 plus 3. All right? The domain is all real numbers, or you can write negative infinity to infinity. The range is all real numbers. You can write negative infinity to infinity. But to find the x and y intercept, again, you know we have to graph it. So again, go to Scratchpad Graph and type it in. This time, you're not typing square root, you're typing cube root, which you have to hit control. See, instead of hitting control x squared, that's what you would hit to get to square root equals square root. You're going to hit the button right next to x squared. So you're going to hit control and then the little caret. It looks like this. It's a little caret, okay? And that is going to pop up the cube root, or it's not really called the cube root, it's n and then x. Is that an x? Yes. So nx. The n means the number. That's where you're going to write. Sorry, there's a little n. It kind of looks like the caret, but that's a little n. Okay? N root of x. And in the n, when it pops up, it's going to look like this. In your little Scratchpad graph, it's going to be a little box, and then another box. Okay, I'm writing this all out, drawing it all out, so there's no issues. In the little box for cube root, you're going to put the number 3 because it's a cube root. Then inside here, you're obviously going to write what's inside there. So for number 1, it'll be x minus 1. Then you're going to click out of it, and then don't forget to write plus 3. That's how you write out cube root when trying to graph it. Then it should graph. Then you're going to hit, of course, menu 5.1. We should already know this part now. Hit menu 5.1 to trace. It should instantly send you to the y-intercept, which for this one is 0, 2. Again, I already have my notes out, so I'm not going to graph it. I already wrote out my notes. Now for the x-intercept, just like yesterday with the square root, might have to click a while, either to the left or to the right. You have to use your brain, see which way it's kind of facing, okay? So you know which way to go, which way it's moving. If you see the x-axis is going to go to the right, like the graph, the line is going to pass through the x to the right, click over to the right. If you see it's going to pass over the x-axis to the left, click to the left. If you realize you're clicking to the left, you're right, you're going to click for a little while, but not too long, and you're going to get to negative 26, comma 0. And that is the x-intercept. We're going to get some big numbers here sometimes for the x and y intercepts. They might be weird, they might be decimals, okay? You just got to keep clicking, all right? And that's it for cube root, all right? So let's move on to number 2. Scrolling down. All right, so this time we see negative cube root of x plus 2, and then on the outside minus 4, domain and range, all real numbers. Again, to find the x and y intercept, graph it correctly, type it in correctly, so it's negative, then the cube root of x plus 2. If you forget how to type in the cube root button, just rewind the video, and then minus 4. You type that in perfectly, then hit menu 5-1 to trace it. It should send you exactly to the y-intercept for this one, which is 0, comma, negative 5.26. All right, it's a little weird, okay? It's not a perfect whole number, negative 5.26. Then, for the x-intercept for this one, I'm not gonna lie, you're gonna have to click for a while. Please do it, even though I'm about to write the answer. I want you to be able to find the x-intercept, okay? I'm gonna wait a couple seconds, pause the video, find it yourself, please. And if you do it correctly, you find it is negative 66, comma, 0. All right, see, a pretty big number, pretty long clicking. Okay, you go till you find the 0. All right, and that's it. There's one more, then we're done. Ooh. Again, technical difficulties. All right, it's a little bit smaller now, but let's finish it out. We have y equals 1/2 cube root of x minus 1, and then on the outside, minus 1. We know the domain, all real numbers, range, all real numbers. Again, type it into the calculator correctly, 1/2, and then cube root x minus 1. Then on the outside, minus 1. Hit menu 5-1 to trace. It should instantly send you to the y-intercept. And also, I want to mention, if it doesn't instantly send you to the y-intercept for some reason, just click and find it. You know intercepts mean where does it cross y, where does it cross x. So you don't need the calculator always telling it to you perfectly. You can find it yourself. I don't know why it wouldn't, but you should be able to find it yourself if it doesn't send you to it right away. So the y-intercept is 0, comma, negative 1.5. All right, and then if you click, this time you don't have to go too far. You're going to get 9, comma, 0. All right, and we're done. And again, graph it here if you want, but if you used your calculator, I know you found it yourself. You have the graph in your calculator. Okay, so that's it. Not too bad once again. All the videos are fixed. Thank y'all. Sorry about that when it came to the factoring polynomials, but now we're in the graph part, and I had time to remake it, so I did.